Wow, a video that isn't about the monkeys? Somebody pinch me. Owie. This video might be a bit difficult for me to do because I'm not done watching True Blood. But we're gonna go over the top 10 best episodes according to IMDb and run from there. Alright, I just went through this and all these episodes are episodes I've seen, so I don't have to worry about spoilers at all, so yep. Also, do I look buff with this Elton John muscle shirt? This is just fat, but I kind of feel buff right now. Anyways, after an argument with Bill, Sookie finds herself walking the rest of the way back to Bon Tom's. Along the way, she's attacked by a creature that leaves her in a dire tension. So Bill entrusts the help of Eric after his blood proves useless in helping saving her. In the early stages of Bill and Sookie's relationship, they are still figuring out each other's dynamics. The episode shows the willingness Bill will go to help Sookie, even going to get help from Eric. Bill shows that he is capable of caring for Sookie and the length that he is willing to go to save her. Okay, I figure I'm now just realizing I didn't explain True Blood to people who haven't seen True Blood, so I better let's rewind a bit and explain, True Blood. So True Blood is like way before the Vampire Diaries, but after Buffy, because Buffy started in like 1997 and ended in 2003, and True Blood started in 2008 and ended in 2014. While Vampire Diaries, to my knowledge, if I can just scroll for a minute, Vampire Diaries ended in like 2017, which I didn't even realize, but they started in 2009. So they were running at the same time as True Blood, because then I think True Blood's second season happened in like, I don't know, probably 2009. But anyways, True Blood is about this girl named Sookie Stackhouse, and she lives in a small town in Louisiana called Bon Tom's. And this vampire comes into town named Bill Compton. He's like 173 years old. In this universe, vampires are well known. People live with vampires, but there's kind of like racism towards vampires. Bit weird. It's a bit strange, Originally there was going to be a reboot of True Blood from the Riverdale creator. Already that sounds like a disaster, but since the Gossip Girl reboot failed so hard, they were like, okay, we're not gonna reboot True Blood because you've proven to us that this is bad, this is horrible. So now that I've explained True Blood to you guys and basic lore of it, let's get back to the episodes. So after Sookie finds Sam in her bed, he has to explain to her that he's a shapeshifter. Freaked out by all this, Sookie thinks Sam is the one that killed her grandma, because someone killed her grandma, but they reveal who did it. Anyways, at the bar that night, Sookie is chased by a creature into Sam's arms. Throughout the first seasons of the show, Sam clearly has a thing for Sookie. As Bill is away in this episode, we can see that maybe Sam wouldn't be the worst one for Sookie after all. The episode goes into flashbacks of when Sam was younger and shapeshift into a beagle, often looking after Sookie. In the season finale, the episode picks up from the intense events of the previous episodes, where the Vampire Authority, led by a man named Roman, who's played by the guy from Law and Order, Stabler, anyways, that has been dealing with the escalating crisis of human uses True Blood to wage wars against vampires. Humans uses. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so off today. The episode requires a lot of the cast to team up to go on ruthless rampage against antagonist vampires. The battle brings a new dimension to Bill's character, who has become increasingly tired of the current life he lives, especially seeing Eric and Sookie together. Yeah, it's a whole thing, on Tom, Spirits of the Dead Surface. What is it? I forgot this episode. I legit did. Anyways, Sookie learns more about her own powers as Eric and Bill face the consequences for previous actions related to the critical race of war between vampires and humans. Sookie continues to struggle with her romantic entanglements between Bill, Eric, and Alcide, who's played by Joe Manganiello. I think this was Joe Manganiello's first role ever. And man, is he so hot. Anyways, Suki's fairy heritage is becoming more crucial as she delves into her capabilities to connect with the supernatural world. Oh yeah, Suki's a fairy. I bet you never seen that in the show before. Like, we know Vampire Diaries got like werewolves and witches and vampires and half breeds, but fairies are just like a weird thing to put in a show like this. I mean, Vampire Diaries have like vampire hunters, but this is still just very fairies, huh? Fairies. Okay. I realize saying fairies sounds like saying furries, so let's storylines continue to develop in this episode. The main plot revolves around Bill being kept by his maker, so he cannot go after Sookie, the woman he loves. The writing of this episode makes sense because we are flashing back into Bill's past, seeing more into how he became a vampire and the torment that was put on him. It proves the audience with the sympathetic look into Bill and makes a good case for why he is so sweet and caring to Sookie. It shows how multiple characters are just seeking freedom from their past and their desires, which are affected through the outside world.
I don't know who you think you are, but before the night is through.
The tensions and conflicts of the second season begin to mount as humans and supernatural creatures in Bon Toms collide. Marianne, a powerful supernatural entity, has a hold over the town and Sookie above all. Sookie's telepathic abilities become more understood throughout this season and episode specifically. As she grapples with her powers, she finds it hard to control the gift she still doesn't quite understand, just as much as her identity in a world that continues to surprise her. Camera angles for my phone to charge. Anyways, the first season was home to some of the best moments in True Blood. As everything comes to fruition in the finale, we are exposed to what this world really is inscribed with. Leaving viewers with many unsolved story arcs and cliffhangers, the audience comes to understand the nature of the world they are in. It's more than just a vampire-human love story, but a mystery of the supernatural that has many political crossovers to our own world.
I'm the kind to sit up in his room.
The season's antagonist, Russell Edgington, the Mississippi King vampire, announces in this episode his plans to take over the human world, sending shockwaves through the various communities, making two factions come to war. Sookie's brother Jason struggles with his prejudice against vampires and which motives are right for him. As one of the few unsupernatural people in the show, Jason struggles heavily with his own trauma as well as feeling out of control in the world he is part of. His exploration as a character is seen and brings along pivotal plot developments that set the stage for dramatic climax. This episode also shows a shifting relationship of Sookie and Eric, as tender side to Skarsgård's character is shown after suffering from amnesia. So sweet. I miss Amnesia, Eric. Such a sweetie. Sookie and Jason share a deep conversation that emphasizes that they only have each other. Sookie begins to really take control of her own destiny as she starts to take action against the people who are filled with hate towards her. Sookie's character has to start making serious decisions in this episode, her relationship with Bill being one of the main factors that has brought up an intense change in her life, whether having him around part of her journey throughout the episode and the season.
I don't know what you
Oh, sorry. I took a popcorn break. I'm allowed to have moments like that, alright? Not a moment of weakness. It's a moment of... I don't know. So, Sookie learns about Bill's maker and why he didn't come to save her from Godric, one of the antagonists of the season. I didn't realize Godric was an antagonist. Anyways, Godric's intervention proves to be helpful for Sookie, as she is not murdered by Bill's maker upon her arrival. The popularity of this episode can be predicated on Godric's godlike essence. He brings a philosophy to him that seems to escape from characters like Eric, who are very primitive at times. This moral obligation he possesses makes him one of the most interesting characters in the show, and helps put a perspective on the entire circumstance of the show. And that's it, folks. I missed all 10 episodes, popular, best, ranked, IMDB, whatever. missed again. Anyways, see you all in the next video, which I don't know.